From Georgia.
Mr. Speaker, by direction of the Committee on Rules, I call up House Resolution 491 and ask for its immediate consideration.
Clerk will report the resolution.
House Calendar Number 69, House Resolution 491. Resolved that upon adoption of this resolution, it shall be in order to consider in the House the bill H.R. 1090 to amend the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 to provide protections for retail customers and for other purposes. All points of order against consideration of the bill are waived. An amendment in the nature of a substitute consisting of the text of Rules Committee Print 114-31 shall be considered as adopted. The bill as amended shall be considered as read. All points of order against provisions in the bill as amended are waived. The previous question shall be considered as ordered on the bill as amended and on any further amendment thereto to final passage without intervening motion except 1 hour of debate equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Financial Services. 2, the further amendment printed in the report of the Committee on Rules accompanying this resolution, if offered by Representative Lynch of Massachusetts or his designee, which shall be in order without intervention of any point of order, shall be considered as read, shall be separately debatable for 10 minutes, equally divided and controlled by the proponent and an opponent, and shall not be subject to a demand for division of the question. And 3, one motion to recommit with or without instructions.
The gentleman from Georgia is recognized for 1 hour.
Mr. Speaker, this is a debate only. I yield the customary 30 minutes to the gentleman from Colorado, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume. During this time, the consideration of resolution, all time is yielded for purposes of debate only. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and to include extraneous materials in House Resolution 491 currently under consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased today to bring forward this rule on behalf of the Rules Committee and the hundreds of thousands of young men and women who one day hope to retire. The rule provides for consideration of H.R. 1090, the Retail Investor Protection Act. The Rules Committee met on this measure yesterday evening and heard testimony from both the chairman and ranking member of the Financial Services Committee. The rule brought forward by the committee is a structured rule. There was only one amendment submitted to the Rules Committee on this bill, and the House will have the opportunity to debate and vote on the amendment offered by Mr. Lynch of Massachusetts later today. This legislation went through regular order in the Financial Services Committee and was also passed by the House in the 113th Congress by a vote of 254 to 166, with a number of my friends on the other side of the aisle voting for the legislation. I hope we can put aside our political differences and vote in a similar bipartisan fashion here today. This rule provides for 1 hour of general debate, equally divided and controlled by the chairman and ranking member of the Financial Services Committee. You see, Mr. Speaker, today I look forward to hearing the stories that members will share highlighting the desperate need for H.R. 1090 to become law. I have also heard firsthand from men and women in my district who are scared about their financial future. Navigating retirement planning can be a difficult task, especially for young men and women just entering the workforce. They often rely on financial planners to offer advice on the steps they need to take today so one day they can retire. I had the opportunity to meet with one of those financial planners in my office just a few months ago. Beth Baldwin is a financial planner who works for Edward Jones in my hometown of Gainesville, Georgia. She took the time to come to Washington and meet with and her elected officials because she was scared about the impact of the fiduciary rule would have on her ability to do her job. She told me that the administrative fiduciary rule prevents her from helping people. Beth told me that financial advisors should always provide advice that is in their client's best interest, but the rule places unnecessary and burdensome requirements on both advisors and clients. You know, that's not what we're about as a country, Mr. Speaker. We are the world's greatest economic engine and the land of hope and opportunity because we believe in ingenuity and hard work of people. Our founders believed in people. They were on their team, and they created a governmental structure that is for the people and by the people. And frankly, Mr. Speaker, that's what this Republican majority stands for, the people who get up every day looking to how they can make it better. The Republican majority is for people. We believe in their hopes. We believe in their dreams, and we want them to succeed. When my son gets a little older and starts thinking about retirement, I want him to be able to go to a professional and get some advice and seek good information. If H.R. 1090 isn't signed into law, then financial advisors like Beth Baldwin won't be able to help him. In fact, it won't be able to help others who have helped my family, like Wayne Parrish, who is a dear friend of our family, but he's also someone who advises us and our financial decisions. And this is something that's threatening not only his livelihood, but many teachers that work with my wife. This is about people, Mr. Speaker. Across the nation today, there are 9 million households that rely on small business retirement plans, and there are 3 million small saver households. These are the people that need Congress now more than ever to be on their team. To them, this debate isn't over definitions and enhanced coordination and studies. It's over their future. It's over their ability to make informed decisions, to find somebody like Beth or Wayne or a number of others all across this country who can help them plan for the future. Financial advisors should be free to offer advice to their clients based on what is best for them as individuals and small businesses, not based on what advice most limits their ability. Saving for retirement is already difficult. It requires tough decisions. But the one thing that can keep a devastating financial decision from being made is advice from a qualified professional. I in no way believe we should model our policies after other countries. We've talked about that before here. However, when we can learn from their mistakes, we should. The United Kingdom implemented a similar rule in 2013. 2 years later, we can see the negative effects. The rule has created an advice gap in which 60,000 investors are unable to receive financial advice because their accounts are too small. Mr. Speaker, I've known from stories that have been told on the floor and from many members here. I remember when I and my wife were just starting out. To tell me what little bit that I had saved was too small is an affront to the very free enterprise system that helps people climb out of where they want to go and fulfill their dreams. We should never be satisfied with when we tell people they can't get advice because their pot, so to speak, is too small. Several of my constituents in Northeast Georgia recently wrote me about the administration's fiduciary rule, and here's what they said. The rule as proposed is not workable and would have had numerous unintended consequences on American workers and retirement savers, particularly those who are in the middle class. The requirements in the rule would drive the market to fee-based arrangements that are used only for wealthier clients and are not the best fit for many investors. As a result, middle-class savers would be forced into low-service, do-it-yourself accounts, depriving them of meaningful, personalized planning advice. Let me repeat myself. Depriving them of meaningful, personalized planning advice. We're here today because the Republican majority is advancing H.R. 1090 because we are for the middle class. Because we refuse to accept any rule from this administration that would deprive the middle class of the tools they need to make good financial decisions. One of my constituents also wrote, the time to act, Americans are deprived of consumer choice on how to plan for retirement and invest their savings. Another said, recently I became aware of a proposed rule that would undermine my ability to plan for my retirement in ways I believe best for me. It is the very heart of why we're here, Mr. Speaker, is taking up for those who need those to say, government, it's time to let the free enterprise, it's time to let the middle class, the hard-working folks of our country have advice and be able to access that. I cannot understand why some of my friends on the other side of the aisle support a rule that would undermine anyone's ability to plan for their retirement in ways that are best for them. This isn't a political issue. It's about people and about their future. Simple as that. Financial planning isn't one size fits all. It's customized, individualized based on the need that a particular family or small business. Obamacare is a perfect example of what happens when the administration takes over an industry without regards to the needs of the middle and lower class. Another constituent wrote to me and said, with this rule, it seems that government is determined that I am not smart enough to make my own informed investment decisions. I do not agree. Saving for retirement is difficult enough. Why add more obstacles and complexity? I urge you to please preserve the freedoms investors currently enjoy to choose how we invest our retirement accounts and plan for a better financial tomorrow. This administration, Mr. Speaker, is already costing families jobs, constitutional liberties, affordable quality health care, and a strong national defense. Let's not also make and take away from them the ability to plan for retirement. I remember when, just a little over 27 years ago, my wife and I walked down the aisle and we said, I do. For better, for worse, for richer, or for poor. And, Mr. Speaker, we've been through all of this. But at times we had people who came into our lives. Investment that would help us here with her teacher retirement would help us with size that I didn't have the time or really the understanding to work on. If we take it away from folks like myself and my families in my district and families in your district, families all over the country, then what are we saying to the American people? We're saying the government knows better than you. And I'm a firm believer that this government was standing and started by those for the people and of the people, and that's what this Republican majority is doing today. And that's why this rule is important, and that's why this bill is important. With that.